Welcome, everyone, to this Zoom about becoming a pragmatic practitioner. My name is Susanna Mittermaier, and I am thrilled that we have people from all over the world here. I'm really surprised about this, like people from every continent in the world, and so many translations here. So I'm really, I'm like really touched actually that this is such a that has such a big oh my God, don't cry now, that this has such a big, ask in the world. It makes me so happy because just a little background, most of you probably know I started out being a psychologist. I still am a psychologist, but I started out, doing psychology as I had learned and studied, and I did psychotherapy. I gave that, and also a lot of neuropsychological testings. I worked in child oncology and psychiatry. And then I started my own business and I wrote a couple of books. And those books, to my surprise, people love them, which I'm like, wow, because I just wrote them from what is true for me and what I would like the world to be like. And then now it's me doing a lot of workshops worldwide about this different approach, which is called pragmatic psychology. And pragmatic means doing what works. And we live in a world. Wait, now we have someone speaking at the same time. So pragmatic basically means doing what works. And we live in a world that is not pragmatic. We live in a world that is dramatic. I'm sure you have noticed everything is a problem. And there's such a love for problems. I mean, most of people's conversations that they have with each other are not about, oh, what can we create? And let's live, let's thrive. But it's a lot about let's just survive and let's, look at what's wrong. And most people's days are spent in what's wrong, not what can we do and what can we create. And so with this pragmatic psychology movement, which is now obviously worldwide, which started out, in my own world because I was working in psychiatry, and I could see people are being made so wrong just for being different, and then they get diagnosis, and then they're told that's who you are, and now there's not much option than getting medication or like living with it or a little bit help. But it's what was missing from my perspective was what is you like asking the patients, what is your way of viewing the world? And then showing them that this is a gift, and then showing them how they can use it, and that's for me being pragmatic, where you use everything that is thrown your way. Like everywhere you've been made wrong, everywhere you are not fitting in, everywhere you have been, experienced abuse or had something, horrible show up in your life, using everything to make your life greater. Like where every problem can be turned into a possibility. And that's for me being pragmatic. And that's not something we've been taught growing up in this world with our parents, but it's something that I see it could be, if we allow and choose it, could be our future. And it's definitely how I live myself. Like I don't just talk about this, I live it, I be it, I practice every day myself to become greater. So this is very important for me to use those tools myself. And that's the way I can, show people how their way is of using the tools that are available, which are very simple. And that's one of the things for me. It's like, what if life could be easy? And what if change could be easy? But that's not something that all the world is ready for yet, because there is such a rightness in having a problem. If I don't have a problem, then what's wrong with me? Which is very funny. So oftentimes the biggest problem is that life is too easy and people don't allow it. So my invitation is, first of all, man, how much more ease could you allow? Like really allow You know, how much more ease in your life could you allow? And where do you prefer difficulty when you could choose ease? And I know like our minds go, yeah, yeah, but maybe somewhere beyond your mind, you know, okay, that is actually possible for me. And yeah, this is how it all started. I did my work as a try to be normal psychologist and therapist, and I always knew something is missing. There's a different way of working with patients and clients, and I was looking for it. I was looking for this other way of, you know, working with clients. And that is funny, sorry. And then Zoom just asked me if I speak Spanish, maybe because I'm using my arms like this. I don't know, it's weird. And so this is where because I couldn't find that education, this is where I'm like, okay, then I created myself. And I started to write those books, pragmatic psychology books. And there's 4 books that I've written so far. There's another one that's coming out in not so far in the future. It's already finished written. And yeah, so now with pragmatic psychology and this being a movement worldwide, we now have people that are called pragmatic practitioners. And they're basically people who have done classes with pragmatic psychology and they now use those tools in their work. And they have different backgrounds, you know, like we have people with teachers, parents, social workers, doctors, business people, architects, like people with very many different backgrounds. And they're learning how, like, they have learned how to use these tools in their profession. Like they're using those tools in their professions to make things easier and greater. And they now use those tools with their clients, their students, their children, in companies, in businesses, in schools, in kindergartens. And it's just a way of facilitating change in a very different and simple way. Facilitating, I love that word. You know, I know there's those words coaching and therapy and all that, but I prefer the word facilitating because it matches pragmatic psychology. Facilitating comes from Latin and means making easier. So as a facilitator, you're basically the easier maker. And which is also reflecting on, you know, when you work, let's say, as a pragmatic practitioner, you have a very different position than a normal coach, than a normal therapist. Because as an easier maker, you're not fixing the other person. And that's something most people have done in their whole lives with their parents, with their friends, with their clients. You know, how many people have you tried to fix and save? We all have done that a lot. But then look at how it works, or does it really work? Or is it something that takes a lot of energy and is where you put yourself over someone? Because if you try to save someone or fix someone, you already have the point of view that you know better. Yeah. And do we really know better than anyone else? No. So this is a very vulnerable position, a very like relaxed position as a pragmatic practitioner, where you don't put yourself above other people. You are asking them questions and you're finding out what is true for them and what they would like to change. So and that's a very, very important thing. And everything I say, you can apply right now to yourself and your life and to other people you work with. So just like apply it, see how you can use it and you know, extrapolate for you in your life. But it's like one of the main elements is what I just said, is finding out what is true for you in every situation with every person. And that's huge, because if you look at how you grew up, a lot of people probably told you what's right and wrong and what's good and bad and what you should do and what's the right behavior and what's the wrong behavior. And none of this is empowering. So if you would like take some time for you in the next days and just go in every situation with every person, ask what is true for me that I haven't acknowledged. And then you probably know you probably know very well what's true for other people. You probably know very well what they need of you. We're all experts in that. We have trained this our whole lives, where we've used our awareness, our tentacles, our sensitivity to know what's true for other people. We're super at that. But what's very important to create sustainable and pragmatic change is to know what is true for us. Because if you know what's true for you in every situation with every person, you cannot, how do you say in English? I have Swedish and English and German in my head. So if you know what's true for you, you cannot be like thrown over that easily. When, let's say, the world screams of fear and they go, oh my God, our future on this planet will be horrible economically, blah, blah, blah. And you read in the newspaper and you go, everybody stresses, everybody has anxiety and worry. And you go, wait a second, I'm reading this. What do I know? What's true for me? You have a totally different way of being in the world. Imagine that. Imagine like you have friends being stressed about the future. You read in the newspaper and none of this affects you. None of this throws you over. You're just being you with everything that's going on around you, every storm that's around you. And that's what this is inviting the world to, And imagine what world we could be able to create if people would trust themselves. Holy moly, if you would trust yourself every moment and you would go for ease and joy in every moment, wow, what life and what future could you create and who would you inspire? And that for me is like a big, big, big part in being pragmatic. But at the same time, when you talk with people and you work with people, not needing them to get it, because people are where they are. All of us have a different path. Like some people are super fast and like, yep, they hear something that's light and easy and they go, yes, yeah, la, 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 and they change it, da, 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 like children. Some people are not like that. Some people are like, no, I need 10 years and I need to hear it 1,000 times. And then maybe I'm ready to change this. That's not wrong. That's fine. That's okay. You just need to know who you're dealing with and not judge you for being fast and not judging them for being slower. Yeah. So that's another thing. We said knowing what's true for you and then not judging, being an allowance of you and being an allowance of the other person. So these are just two small elements of the different approach on how to work with people. Because what I've seen in most modalities, also the ones I have learned in my profession, is there's always judgment. There's always, this is the right behavior, this is the wrong behavior. This is the right way of looking at it, this is the wrong way. This is positive thinking, this is negative thinking. But all of this is still like, judgments. Even positive thinking and negative thinking, it's still judgments. Isn't it funny? I mean, for me, it's funny, sorry. But it's like, it's so funny, like turning a negative thought and a positive thought is like, yeah, but you're still judging, So this is just like what's beyond this paradigm of judgment, where there's such a bigger space to function from. And it works, I've been using this with people with the worst diagnosis and people who are just no diagnosed, but they just want to change their lives, like whole, area. So what this, I don't want to keep you too long on this Zoom, but I just wanted to let you know that this different approach is happening. It's existing. So if you've ever looked for how can I do coaching, therapy, school teaching, parenting in a bigger playground, in a bigger way, in a pragmatic way, there's an education. And I'm really thrilled about it. And you can with this just, if you ever want to do a pragmatic practitioner class, it's a 3-day class. There's a 1-day version and a 3-day version. You can just check it out. You can just do the class and already learn how to apply these tools for yourself and for other people. And you don't need to do anything else. But becoming a pragmatic practitioner, which this Zoom is about, is we already have pragmatic practitioners all over the world. It's a worldwide movement by now. And these people, as I said, have different professions. They use these tools in their work. And we have a whole webpage where you can find them all. And you can become one too. So, and I'm just going to mention shortly how you become it. You need 2 pragmatic practitioner classes only. One, like there's a call I've made a while ago, which is about mental illness. So get background about what mental illness is and how you can facilitate people with diagnosis. And yeah, and then you're ready to become a pragmatic practitioner, and you can join us. It's, people join for a year and then they can do longer. And we have calls throughout that year where you are supported in your work, and you can ask your questions about your own life if you have any stuff going on and you would like facilitation. So we have that regularly. And then we do different things together, where we, get together and do some events, for other people. And then there's a web page where you can be listed. So people can find you if they look for people who work with pragmatic psychology, which I always get asked, do you have someone in Mexico who works with pragmatic psychology? And we can say, yes, here are the people on this webpage. So this is a whole movement, and it's really, really cool to have that available because it's a very different approach. And man, there's so much I can say about this, but I actually wanted to also shortly, I asked the pragmatic practitioners if they wanted to say something about this. So I want to give the floor to, I don't know who's ready. Can you raise your hand? If I see you, Jürgen, yes, you want to say something.
Yes, hello everybody again. For me, the pragmatic practitioner classes are the only classes where I learned to facilitate myself and other people, and we practice this in the classes, and that's amazing. And you can see before the people think that they can do it. And when they try it and when they do it, they see, wow, it's so easy. And they come back with a face where they laugh and they are so overwhelmed that it's possible and that it's so easy if you have the right tools to do that. Yeah. And I love it. I totally love it.
And as Jürgen said, it's you always have to walk your talk, because there's so many experts out there that just talk, but they don't live it. So what's important is like looking at your own life and going, where can I choose and allow more ease? And where can I, like, when you have a problem, don't stick with, oh, it's wrong, I have a problem, but learn, like, maybe you want to start asking some questions around this. Like, what is this thing I'm calling a problem? What is it really? And it usually just, when you start looking at it from different questions, not just like, oh, it's a problem, I'm going to stick with it. But if you ask questions around it, you probably will see there's a different way of looking at it. And from that, you can see, oh, that problem is actually pointing me to a possibility. It's like I usually say, like in agriculture, where they put cow shit on the fields. Like every shit is a fertilizer. Whenever you have shit going on, it, like, every problem wants to show you that there's gold behind it. You just have to allow that different perspective, and go for it. And that's, for me, oh my goodness, this makes life so rich, because you don't stop with something being wrong. You keep on moving and going, oh, okay, someone judged me. Something, horrible showed up. Okay, I'm not going to buy it as horrible. I'm going to look, like, what is this showing me? What awareness am I getting from this? How is this making me stronger? What can I choose now that I haven't chosen before? And it's just, wow, like, man, if we would live like this, more of us, what's going on in the world right now wouldn't be able to stop us. and this is, bigger perspective. And as Jürgen said, in these classes, we also practice on each other. So there's people who have never done any facilitation. There's people who've done a lot of it. It doesn't matter. It's like, what's important for me is like, I've read so many books, and I've learned so many modalities. And when I was sitting with the patient, I was always going, okay, what did I read in the book? Okay. And it was always so perfect in the book, patient says this, client says this. And I'm like, man, it's not so perfect in real life. I'm doing it wrong. And I always thought back to the theory. I always thought back to what I read in the book. And I realized I was gone. I wasn't present anymore with the patient. So what's important here is also to realize it's not about the theory. It's about you using the tools, you living them, and then you can be present with the client, you can be present with the patient, and they can show you where to go next. And Tuli, did you want to say something? Yeah.
Yes, there was question as you talked about facilitation and clients. There was question, are these tools only for those who have a psychology degree?
Oh my goodness, no. Oh my goodness, no. We have people who have psychology degree, but most of them do not have any psychology education or degree, which I'm very grateful for. I like that, because if you have a psychology degree, usually your head is full with what's right, what's wrong. But if you don't have one, it's actually really great, because you're open for something new. And what's important is always to add you and who you are. Only the tools are not enough. You have to add you and your uniqueness. That makes the facilitation the best, because you see what you see uniquely. Your awareness is different than everybody else's. And that's what makes it interesting for the client. Yes. Was there anyone else who, Elke, did you want to say something? Elke and Mio.
Hello. Yes, I want to say that my whole life changed, even with my kids. It's so much easier, and I can relax now. And being a pragmatic practitioner is so much fun, facilitating myself and my clients. And yeah, nothing is as it was before.
And I love that you use it. I mean, you're a graphic designer, and you also you use it in your graphic designing business, but you also use it in as a mom, and as a wife. So I love how you changed your relationship. I love how you have the different way of parenting. And that's also not normal, because having a relationship, marriage, and having children and having a business is not supposed to be ease. That's supposed to be hard work. And obviously, there's a sense of relaxation that I see in you, and I see in so many of you guys, that is so different. Because, man, like, how many of you have been taught to stress and to push? Like, when you create something, I have to push. Like, pushing actually pushes things away. It pushes creations and possibilities away. So if we start to relax more, like right now, just like, we're actually showing you the energy of it. If you let that into your world and your body, and you relax more, how much bigger could your world be if you don't need things to be perfect anymore? If you don't need your life to be perfect anymore? What if your life, the way it is right now, is just the way it should be, and you don't have to change anything, and you can be grateful for whatever is right now? What else would you be able to add? And notice that space. What if you let that into your body and your world right now? And notice, okay, there's a different way of functioning right now. And I know it's like almost where you want to fall asleep, but that's what we like. So many people confuse relaxation and tiredness, because we're on adrenaline all the time. I have to do this. I have to get this done. But when we relax, We think we're tired. No, we're not. We're just relaxed. And how many more things can come into your life when you're relaxed? So ask for that space. How can I do, parenting? How can I be with my kid right now from relaxation? How can I do this business meeting from relaxation? Like, ask for it in the everyday life. Yes, I have a couple of hands. Let's take the 3 people. Ruth, also a PP. We don't take ourselves serious, so we say PP.
Exactly. I just want to say something. It's being pragmatic practitioner is a matter of consciousness, not a specific answer. And it is a matter of living the chaos with joy, not with any smile. It's just the smile issue. It's a matter of defying the circumstances. It's okay, and defying even your own reality, because you can choose. You can choose what do you want to do with your life, and these kind of tools help us to realize that we can ask questions to ourselves and to others.
Thank you.
That's why I love this.
Thank you, Ruth. And Ruth is in Mexico.
Yes.
And I love your wallpaper in the background that says pragmatic.
Yes, I put it for you. I put it for all of us. Yes.
So cool.
Being pragmatic is being.
I adore you. Thanks for being. Yeah, and Ruth said important things. She said answer, choice, and questions. Yeah, these are also very important elements of like no answer. She said we're not doing answers. We're doing instead choice and questions. So basically, that means if someone comes to you with a problem, you don't go, oh, okay, yes, I understand. Aha, do this and this, to feel better. That would be an answer that would make them need you. That's not what we want to create. We don't want to have people need you as an expert, as a coach. That's not empowering. So what we would like is for people to learn, like the pragmatic practitioners, they learn to ask questions so that people can find out what's true for them and that they know that they have choice. Because like people have whatever problem they think they have, they usually think they have no choice. And that's something we are inviting the world to know. Whatever is going on in your life, how horrible it might seem to be, you always have choice. Always. Sonia.
Hello, everybody. Since I'm being a pragmatic practitioner, my whole life is changing. And one of my favorite tools is being the space. And if I'm choosing it, it opens up so much freedom, joy, and to know what I know. And it's so amazing.
Wow. Thank you for that, Sonia. That's brilliant. Because that space thing is something that is also very new. Like most people don't even know what that means. Like being space, what does it mean? Well, that's also very simple. So if you have a problem and you're worried about something, you're not space. You're like, you contract it. You're like, oh my God, what's wrong? This person hates me, or this happened. Ooh, and you contract. And from that contraction, physical contraction and psychological contraction, you cannot let anything new in your world. You're like totally closed. Yeah, you just put a lot of barriers up, and you're putting more energy to the stress. You're just feeding the stress. But if you have what we talked about before with the relaxation and what Sonia mentioned with the space, which means instead of contracting, you just like imagine you are filling up the whole room with who you are, or the whole city where you live. Basically, like imagine you're like an eagle perspective, standing on a mountain, and you have a bigger perspective, a bird's view. Then you suddenly can see what else is possible that you didn't see before. And you can let in people that contribute to you and help you. You can let in new awarenesses. So space is something that we use in the facilitation for ourselves, but also when we work with other people. Yes. A lot about that, but that's more for the class. Yes.
And
Yeah, sorry.
one thing I have not,
Yes.
what I love is to listen the energy behind the words.
Yeah.
It's huge, and yes.
Yeah, that's another big thing that we work with is not just listening to people's words, but listening beyond the words. That's where you get a lot of energy, a lot of information on what's going on with the client. Yes, thank you for that. That's brilliant. Steffi.
Yes, being a pragmatic practitioner is so much ease in my life. For me, myself, my family, with 3 adult trials. It's something like getting out of the care that no one of them can live their own life. And it opens up so much space, and it makes me so confident that everything will function in their life.
Okay, that is a big thing for, thank you, Steffi. That's a big thing for parenting, but anything, you know, where you can trust that everything will work out. Also for your own life, you know, where you can trust that you have the power, you have what it takes, that everything will work out. You can trust yourself. Definitely that. Thank you.
Yes, and on the other hand, my father is now going to death in the next few days. And also for me, it's so much confidence that it will be the right for him, what he chooses, or what he has chosen for his life. And the trust in me that I can handle everything. And also the big contribution from you and the big group of great people, pragmatic practitioners, where I can always, it's every time possible to reach anybody, and everybody is a contribution to each other, and it's such a great gift for me in my life that I really will invite everyone to only take a little pick up of this great group of people. I'm so grateful, and always in my in the job with my clients, it's so nice to see that it's in families so a big contribution that parents allow their children to be as they are, the great and wonderful contribution in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I love that you say that the parents don't try to make the children be something that is right or wrong, but let the children be who they are. Definitely. And it's what Steffi mentioned is also like what the pragmatic practitioners do, because we have a Telegram group together, is they help each other. Like when someone has something, they do sessions with each other and they use the tools with each other and empower each other. So it's really beautiful. Yes. Wow. Massimiliana, did you want to say something? Because you had your hand. Let's take you as the last.
Yes. I would like
Italy.
from Italy, and you will be in Italy in November. Remember that. So I would like to remember that for me, I'm as a psychotherapy, be a pragmatic practitioner is to be almost at the time in a constant exploration beyond the right and the wrong, and it is amazing to do this with people and in the group and in individual session. And also I would like to remember that as pragmatic practitioner, we have an amazing group of PP and we gave support each other with swap. We do swap, we do question. So it's not about to be alone with these tools, but it is about to be in a real, like a family, I think. And you get to us also monthly a call to be in the tools and to have more clarity. And so it's amazing because it's not about only a class or a title. You are a pragmatic practitioner, but it is about to really change our life, your life, and be in a wave of consciousness that is changing, and
Yeah,
be
wow.
part of something that is, for me, is amazing.
Wow.
Because psychology, I'm alone. I'm alone with these tools, but I'm not alone, because we have really this amazing group that is all over the world, and we are part of something that is greater than us. So
Wow.
thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Massimiliana. That's so, really, that's it. We're part of something that's greater, and it's really that being in part of that wave of moving the world forward and moving our lives forward and not stopping with anything. That's really a great group, and supporting each other. Definitely, that's a big part of it. And we also have another movement, which is Pragmatic Practitioner in Business. So this is just a new thing where people learn how to approach and work with businesses, with schools, with kindergartens, and getting the tools in there. So that's another thing, just for you guys to know, it's available. So, man, there's so much to talk about and invite you to, but maybe like whether you want to do a class or you want to become a pragmatic practitioner, what's true for you in your future. This is just for you guys to know that this is available and out there, and something that I was looking for myself as an education, and now it's here. And what if life could be so much easier? And there's power behind everything, behind pain, behind diagnosis, and we can all use it for greatness. So you will all get an email with more information about, we're going to have a pragmatic practitioner class in Attersee, which is in Austria, at a beautiful lake. There's another one in Antalya in Turkey coming up in September, and there's another one in Florence in Italy coming up in November. So these three, not all of them are on the calendar yet, because the one in Italy we created yesterday or today. So just so you guys know, this is coming up. And if you just want to check out pragmatic psychology, you can just read the books or listen to the podcasts. They're free. And you can also do some other just classes where you can get some tools. We have for example, a club coming up in August called the Never Giving Up Club. You don't need any prereqs for that. You can join us for a couple of calls until the end of the year, for people who just don't want to give up right now in times like this, and keep on moving and keep on growing. So there's a lot available. You know what's true for you. Don't feel stressed by the buffet. A buffet is always a wonderful thing to try different things and see what works for you and what's yummy for you. And I'm really grateful that you guys were on this and so present, every single one of you. And really, thank you so much. Hug everyone. And I'm looking forward to creating a world that works for us, all of us, where all of our differences can add to the greatness of our future. And we can trust ourselves to know what we know. And we don't make fear or insanity louder than ease, joy, and glory. What if ease, joy, and glory could be louder than insanity and worry? And that's up to every single one of us to choose in our everyday life. So thank you guys for you. Would love to see you in any of the classes, live or online. And whatever you choose, just be grateful for you. Thank you. And thank you, everyone translating this. I'm really grateful. Everyone translating this. You guys rock. Thank you. Mwah. Adios. Bye-bye.